Okay, maybe you are designing for a road, maybe starting from 00 up to 10 kilometer. So you pass through variation of the road, maybe somewhere where there is corners, where there is slopes, where there is straight lines, but you have to specify maybe at a certain point, maybe starting from the beginning up to the end, depending on the length of the road. I'm going to use the road section that I'm going to design will comprise of the lane and shoulder only, or it will be having lane and shoulder, even a ditch at one side, or lane and shoulder and capstone. Those are in combination.
Sidewalks.
Yeah, sidewalks. So you might find you have a 5-kilometer road, but it's having very much assemblies, because you'll be dividing them depending on at what point of the road you are passing and at what use. So all those are going to be designed by you, and you are going to know, maybe starting from the zero chainage up to 500 meters, I will use a certain assembly because of these reasons. So that's how we design, and you might use this only one depending on the length of the road, or you might use several of them depending on what you are going to design and what you are going to achieve. So we are going to design for the corridor, but before designing the corridor itself, you have to design an assembly, and on that assembly is where you're going you have to know the standards of the lane that you're going to use, or the shoulders, or the ditches, and all those. So what I'll do, I'll just create several assemblies together. You'll just see, you'll have to ask some questions that you think you can ask. Then you are going to create now a full road where you are going to specify the surface that you used, that will come out from the points that you imported, or the point files that you used, the alignment, the profile designed one that you created, and the assembly that you used. All those will be used when you are designing a corridor. Okay, now this is the civil 3D. I'll just show you on how you can design your assembly. Okay, and home tab, we have the under palette ribbon. You have some tools. You have the tool space with its components that is being seen here, as you can see it on the left side. Also you have the properties. This will help you control the properties of any object that you are creating in your drawing. You have the tool palettes. This helps you access the sub-assemblies that are in the lane, shoulder, and be able to modify the standards the way you just want to change them. Okay, now in order to start, you have to specify the center line of the road or the baseline, so that when you input all information, you have where your base is. Okay, under create design, I have the assembly. Scrolling an assembly, I will click on create assembly. Then I'll have the dialog, create assembly dialog. Name, I'll just rename the assembly. Maybe I'll just rename it assembly 1. Any description, if I have to input here. Then I have assembly type. It's where I'm going to select what type of road I'm designing. It might be undivided crown road, the one with no median, or it's divided one, or it's a railway, or other, depending on what. Maybe it's not a road or it's not a railway. You can just you need to have one. You need to have a baseline. You have to use it. Okay. For this case, I will start using the undivided crown road, but along we go, I will just show you how you can design a divided highway, the one with the median at the mid. Okay, then assembly style, just basic. Code set style, these are styles. I'll select all codes, then I'll click OK. Then from there I'll be asked to specify assembly baseline location. I will click on anywhere on my window. So this is the baseline, and this is the one that carries the name of the assembly that you are creating. When I click on it, I just place the cursor on it to just display the name of it. Okay, then after that I will click on tool palettes under home, under the palette ribbon. I have the tool palette. I will click on tool palette. Then I'll have the tool palettes, civil metric sub-assemblies. I'll just show you how it works. I have the one that you see, it's the common assemblies. These are already made, but you can create your own. I'm not going to use these because they are already there, but I want to show you how you can do it. Okay, I have the basic. These show the basic features, all in their lane. We have the shoulder, you have the curbs, basic features. You can use these, but they are all these that you see in here are just placed. Maybe you can see their lanes, basic lane, transition. You have where you have all the lanes you can select, but if you want to use this, you can use as well. Okay, and the lane, you have several types of lane. You just choose it depending on what features you are interested. All are just lanes. You find others are having varying width, so you can just select depending on what you want to design. We shall just look upon them. You have the shoulders. All these are shoulders, so you just select what you want. You have the median. When you are designing for the median, you select from these. And you have the curbs. All these are curbs, and also you have the sidewalk within it. All these are curbs. And then you have the daylight. The daylight is, these are used at the finishing of the road. When you design each and everything, you can use, and there are several of them, and you're going to just see them as we go, where you can use them, how you can use them. When I right click on at the bottom of this tool palette for the civil metric sub-assembly, when I right click on it, I have more features. Let's say I have the trench pipes, where I have several types of ditches. Depending on what type you are designing or what material you want to use, there are several of them, and they have different features. Okay, I have the bridge and rail. It's also there. Some tools are also enhanced in it. So all these are features that can be used. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to create several assemblies, and we're going to see, number one, I will just select the lane and shoulder itself. Another, maybe you can be having lane, shoulder, and ditches, and can create the other with the lane and the curb. So at your own convenient time, you can create several depending on what you want to do. Okay, this is the baseline. I've already created it. Then I'll just, if you want to see other features that are not at this at this column, so you just right click and click. Let's say I want to start with the lanes. These are several types of lanes, but do you see all these other lanes you have to select one by one except for the crown lane. The crown lane, when it's used, you have to set settings on both sides, and when you place it, it's all of it. So I will use like two different lane type, and then you're going to see how it works. When I click on the crown lane, I will have the other properties dialog displayed. Okay, you see now I have the properties dialog displayed, and then I have some features in it. This is the properties that show the properties of the crown lane that I've selected. And advanced, this is where I have to make some settings. Starting from left lane, I can change the value depending maybe I want to design, if as it's 3.5 3.5 why is it not responding, man? Okay, I will click on this crown lane. Why is it not responding? Sometimes it happens, so let me just start it afresh. This is assembly 1. Okay. Okay, let me select the other type because I don't want to restart the software again, but sometimes it happens when you have a drawing already. You can just save it and you just close it and you restart it. Sometimes it happens. Okay, I'll just select the other type. Okay, I have the advanced settings, then I have the side. It asks me where the side, maybe this is I start with the right one. The width, I will select the width. Nothing is working. This is the right one. Okay. I'm not talking. Okay. So the left lane width is 3.5 and the right lane width is 3.5. The slope, I'll just change the slope. I don't know if it's 2.5, let's say, and the left one is 2.5. Then I have the base, sub base, and the pavement layers. So maybe if I have only the base, sub base, and only one pavement, other things that I think are not usable, I just put the value to 0. So just you design the way you want to design. Okay, we might say maybe we are going to design for the sub base and for the base. These are the base slopes, and all these are the standard that you have, that you may just check them with the ASHTO, or depending with the standards that you have. So I will just leave these as they are, those the pavement and the base and the sub base one. So but if you have the several, so all these base, pavement, and the sub base will depend as well with the road type you are designing. Okay.
For the normal roads, the sub base is normally like 0.2 or 0.25.
Is it meter?
No, that is it is meters.
Okay, it's how much?
0.2.
0.2, okay. 0. For the sub base.
Sub base.
And the base?
0.15.
Yeah, I think this is it like us. And you have the pavement layers.
Then pavement 1 is 0. Normally is 5 centimeters.
It's 0.05.
0.05.
Okay, maybe this is 0.05.
Then 0.04.
Okay, 0.04. So the values that you are importing, so these ones should be the ones that you'll be using. Okay, so after all this, you have the base and right and left base slopes. Then when you just complete feeding the information that you want, you just go to the baseline and then you click on it. You select marker point within an assembly, then you click on it. What do I select? Eh? And how is it like this? Something is wrong with the values.
The slopes are not the same.
I think. Okay. Let me check on it. When I click on this and just select properties, I get to advance.
Left lane slope 25.
Huh?
Okay,
25. 2.5, that's why. What is it?
Up.
Yeah, now it's
What about that one? Base.
Left lane slope.
left lane slope.
Up.
No, this was just the default one. So what you have to change, you start changing from there. This one at the top doesn't change. Okay. Due to the resolution of the projector, you can't see the difference. You just see the same, but they are not the same. At the top it's gray and at the bottom is white, where you can edit. So the 2.5 was just the initial one with the by default it was just like that. Okay, then after we have changed, you'll see it is now okay. You have the settings that you just made. So next, this is the by using the crown lane. It means you have to set both for the lane, left and right lane. Okay, then after that you have the shoulder, and these are several types. When I click on, let's say this is one of them, when I go to advanced, these are the details that I have. When I select the other lane type, I will have those details. And let's say I click on the shoulder mat, layer varying width. These are a lot of, you have a lot of things. You have pavement 1 up to 9, I don't know, 10. There are a lot if you are designing for multi layers, but if I just those few ones, you opt for other. Okay, when I click on, let's say I just select this is one of the shoulder that I'm going to use. When you look at it, starting from this point going downward, this it's white. When you will be practicing, you're going to see it properly. Okay, you have side. This one it can be right or left, so we'll start with one of the side. Shoulder width, you're going to specify the shoulder width. This is 1.5, is it? I think it's 1.5. Okay, then you have the shoulder slope. How much? 2.5. The other one. Oh my gosh, this is boring. No, it's not changing. I don't know what is happening. Okay, but all these changes, you have the, if you are going to add the daylight at the end of the road after the shoulder, you have the slope. You specify all these slopes are according to standards with what type of road you are designing, the width you have. And if you see this one, if you're going to apply for to super elevate the sub base, you can just click yes or no depending if you just run the super elevation. And then you have the other settings that we are using before. You have to set the pavement 1. I think this was 0. Very annoying now. I don't know what is happening with me today. Okay, this is 1.5. It's not changing. I don't know what's wrong with this machine of mine today. It's not even let me try to open a certain drawing. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'll just show you where you're going to change. I don't know what is happening now with my machine. I will just show you everywhere where you're going to change, and when you will be doing, I'll just passing through and if you have anything to ask, I'll just see. Okay, I'll just click on the crown lane. I will have to click to 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 set on the advanced settings under properties. I will change the lane width. I will change the right lane width, the slope as this one we did before. All these can be changed. Then when you go to a baseline, I will click on the baseline. So this will be my lane on the right and left side of the baseline. Then I just click on the shoulder. I will select the shoulder, what type of shoulder I'm going to use. These are the settings. Then I will just, all these are editable and must be editable. Now I don't know what is happening with my PC, but I think this is a short problem. Okay, this is the side, this is the right side. Now going back to my created baseline and the lane, on the right side I will click at this side. You see it's like circles. I'll just click on them. There is my shoulder. Then I will select the other side of it, the left. Maybe if I find that they have different settings, I'll use the same. So I'll click on the, after changing, I'll just click on the left. So this is one of the shoulder, which is having a lane, and I mean this is one of the assembly having the lane and the shoulder. So I will create the other one having the lane and the curves, so that you see how it happens. Okay, when I click on the assembly and I create design, I'll click create assembly. This I'll call as assembly 2 divided crown. Then I'll click OK. I'll select the baseline location. Then I will select other types of lane. Let's say all these are types of lanes. So I select what I want to choose. Okay. I have features and advanced. So I will make some changes on all these values. If I am having 2 pavements, I'll just select all and put the settings. And if I'm having only one, it means the other one will be 0. So I will have all these at the lane slope. I mean the lane width will be changed, and the lane slope will be changed as well. So the side of it at the left. So when I go to my baseline that I have created, oh shit, I'll just click on it so that it can be collapsed. Then I will just select on the left side. This is the left side of it. So this is the other type of the lane that I've chose to use. Then I will change the side. This is to the right. Then going back to my baseline, I will click on the right hand side. This is my right hand side. That is the lane. Then I'll go back to shoulder, but I don't want to create the shoulder. I want to create the curves. Okay, under curves, I have several curves. I can add either sidewalk, or I can add the urban curb, gutter, general. All these are varieties of them. When I click on one, you'll see how it happens. It is okay. I'll just, these are the settings. Let me click on it. Okay, these are the, okay, I did not click on it. Okay, I select the first one, that is the first curve. I have the advanced settings and all these are settings that I'm going to add. But if you don't know them, when I click on the on the baseline, this is the, when you look at it, on the right hand side. When I minimize and I click on it, this is the curve. Do you see? This is the curve, and when I want to edit anything, I just right click it. Just click it, and the properties, because it was on. But if it was not on, I just type properties. I will be having properties somewhere. There it is. So I can edit anything from it the way I just want. So that is one of the side that I have added the curves. When I go to the other side, this will be the right side. I will just change it as well, just like that. So this is how you can create the assemblies. Okay. Okay, can we be together please for a little time? Okay, now I have created several assemblies, and you're going to create them on your own time. You will create it, I will just pass and see at least 3 or something, then you just create. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create the corridor. I'll be using just an example that is there. Okay, what I have to do, first of all, I already created the surface, I created the alignment, I created the profile, existing and the designed one, and then I created the assembly where I had specified the components of the road section that I'm going to use, the length, the shoulders, curbs or ditches that I'm going to use. So what next? What I'm going to do, I'm going to create the assembly after having all the components. So when I click on, to create the corridor. So when I click on the corridor and I create design, I have this dialog. Name, I have name 1. I will select, maybe this will be depending with our project. I will name it. Then I have corridor and description. I will enter the description. I have the corridor style. I will select. I have the layer, corridor layer. That's the center line road corridor layer. It's okay. I have the alignment. Don't worry. That's why I want you to look what I'm doing. Okay. Just look at what I'm doing, and then when we'll be doing, I'll be just assisting you, because I know that you have varying version of the computer. Okay, are we together? Okay, just look at what I'm doing, then we'll do at the other time. Okay, first of all, I will have to name it. I will have to, if I have any description, I'll just enter the description, and I have the corridor style. Alignment, I will select the alignment that I have used for the specified corridor that I'm going to create. I have the profile. This is where I'm going to select the designed profile. Then I will, according to this example, just select the layout profile. Then I have the assembly. I'm going to select the assembly that I created. There are several of them here. There, just select anyone because there are many. I'm going to show you also when there are several assemblies, how can you change them. Okay, then I'm going to select the target surface. That is the surface that I created, that helped me to create the alignment and the other components. Then I will make sure this set baseline and region parameters should be checked in, showing all the components that I've been setting so that my corridor can be seen as a corridor. Okay, after that I'm going to click OK. Then I have the baseline and region parameters for corridor 1. These are the two showing the alignment that I use, the profile, the assembly, the start station and the end station that I've used. I have the frequency, I have the target. All these I'm going to show you what are they. But the target, I'll just click on set all and I select the existing, that will be my surface. Then I'll click OK. After that I'll just apply and rebuild the corridor and I click OK. So after that you'll see this is my corridor. This is the beginning point going down to the end point. So this is my corridor. So this will depend with what type of assembly I've just chose to use. When I just place the cursor on the corridor, you can see all feature lines are highlighted. When I click on it, because remember that the center line of the road is the alignment, so it should be shown at the top. When I right click on it, selecting display order, then send to back, so that when I just put the cursor I can see my alignment that I used. Okay, so this is the corridor that I created, and I used only one one assembly in creating this. So when I click on the corridor itself, maybe I want to see what type of alignment, assembly have I used when I was just selecting. When I click on it, I can click on drive. Then I'll be prompted to select the corridor feature line, and the corridor feature line is the alignment. Then I will click. You see, this is the alignment it is being shown. Then I will click on it. Then I will click OK. So at least you can see what type of assembly have you used. So, and this, because we selected one, it means from the start up to the end it be only one assembly that is being used. Okay, I may just even just play and see. It will be just moving across, showing if you have several assemblies or if it's one. You'll be looking at what type of assembly you have just used. You'll be seeing it on your window. So that is the corridor. Okay. Okay. Is there anyone having question at that point? Any question? No, I'm saying from what I was teaching. Do you have any question? Not from your computer. What I was teaching. Do you have anything to ask? Hmm? To put the maybe I don't understand what you mean. Okay, first of all, do just exercise up to where I've just reached. Then from there you can just ask. Okay.
My question is,
Mm.
okay, you first make the alignment, then from the alignment you make the assembly, from which the assemblies are going to be used in the corridor materials.
Which one?
Without the assembly.
Which one?
The
Using?
order of bringing like from the first level to where we are right now.
Creating the corridor.
We are creating the corridor. We have to use all that.
Yeah, of course, when you are creating a corridor, first you have to, it means first of all, the surface should be known. This it means you use the certain data. Maybe you imported the data, or you just created surface from a point file. Then you created an alignment. From there, before you create a profile, you cannot create a profile without having a surface and an alignment. So those should begin. And when you create an assembly, it does not depend on anything. But you make sure that those standards that you are inputting are the ones that correspond with everywhere, where maybe you just imported the values for the lane or shoulder. And from there, because when you are creating a corridor, all those things will be asked. So without them, we won't create. And on top of all, you cannot create a road where you don't know even what are the components of the road. Means what type of lane and what standards, you don't have them, so you won't create it. I don't know if I have answered your thing.
Yeah, I know. I know another one is like for the design profile, after doing the profile, now you create the design profile. Where is that design profile going to work?
Because when you are going to create a corridor, the profile that you are going to select is the design profile.